Max Jaffe, financial expert, author, and professional speaker.
Money is so misunderstood. We educate ourselves on how to earn dollars, yet we don't educate ourselves on what to do with those dollars once we've earned them. Today, I'm going to teach you 3 keys to unlocking all the doors to understanding how money really works. And with these 3 keys, you'll be able to use your money wisely, spend it wisely, and keep more of what you make. We are in trouble financially in America. As a matter of fact, our savings rate in America has dropped 400% in the last 3 decades. Before investing, we pay off our debt. Before we do either, we have to save. So you say, easier said than done. How do I save money? We have this sense that we need to mow the lawn with a 747. What I mean by that is that once I was conducting a workshop and I was going through the scenarios of people spending frivolously. And there's this woman in the audience and she's looking at me kind of funny, kind of like the look that your dog has when he's looking at the ceiling fan. I said, "Man, what's the problem?" And she said, just as serious as she could be, she said, "I have to drive a Jaguar." Ooh, I have to drive a Jaguar. I love Jaguars. They're great cars. I'd love to drive one too. I thought, we're going to have some fun with this. Does this mean that if the police pull you over and you're driving a Buick, you're going to get thrown in jail for 7 years? I don't think so. You know, as I travel across the country, I see people driving these huge Hummers, and all they're doing is just going to the Piggly Wiggly to buy a loaf of bread. Folks, this is the United States of America. It is not a war zone. We've got to get a tap on this frivolous spending. We've all heard the expression that time is money. They lied to you. Money is time. That's all money is. Money is simply the physical manifestation of that intangible commodity of time that you traded. You trade your commodity of time to your employer and, of course, your talents. And your employer gives you dollars in exchange for that time. Debt in America is increasing at an alarming rate. Currently, our national debt is $37 trillion. That's $37 trillion. That's 1,000 billion. That's 37 million. $37 trillion. And of this, 10 trillion is household debt. 65% of this $37 trillion in national debt has been created since 1990. And what this means is that our national debt is increasing at 2.5 times the rate of our national income. We've got to have a paradigm shift about the way we utilize the hard-earned dollars that we work for. So today, we're going to learn 3 key financial tools on how to manage your money. The first is understanding how money is earned. The second is understanding how money is spent. And the third is understanding how to take control of your money. Once you understand these 3 key principles and start to apply them, you'll understand how money works. And once you understand how money works, you'll see that you'll start to keep more of the money you make. Then you can start paying off your debt. Then you can start investing your dollars. And then you can start securing your financial future.
Please welcome Max Jaffe.
Imagine you're sitting in your living room and it's a nice spring day. You decide to go for a run. You put on your jogging clothes, step out the front door. It's 74 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky, gentle breeze, hardly any humidity. You start walking, then you break into a jog, then it turns into a nice run, and you're sprinting. After about half an hour, you turn around, you start coming back to your house. Eventually, you make that last turn, you're on your street, your house is in sight. And you realize there's something sitting in your front yard that wasn't there an hour ago when you left the house. The closer you get to the house, you realize that what's sitting there is a huge, huge pile of money. You've never seen this much money before. You've never seen this much of anything before. No, this is about the part of the run where you start to slow down so much that you don't know if you can make it to your house. But no, baby, not this time. You have broken into a fast sprint. You're sweating profusely. Your heart is beating at 200 beats per minute. You can't wait to reach your house. Finally, you get there and you jump belly first on top of this pile of money. You start rolling around in it. And you begin to hear the jingling of the coins. They're bright and they're shiny, they're gold and they're silver. You can also hear the gentle rustle of the paper currency as well. There's brand new crisp bills. There's all denominations, $10 bills, $100 bills. Then you start thinking about all the toys you're going to buy with all this money. That Lexus, that yacht, that villa on the Mediterranean. Then you think, I can't spend all this money. My grandkids can't spend all this money. So your thoughts turn a little altruistic. you're going to build a hospital in an underprivileged area of town. Better yet, you're going to build a school in an underdeveloped country on the other side of the world. You are now rich. You are now famous. You are now awake. It was a dream. The money goes away along with the dream. I actually had this dream when I was a youngster. And I remember this overwhelming feeling of disappointment that swept through my body when I realized that this had only been a dream. And oh, how I wish this dream would come true. I was born in Dallas, Texas, to a fairly prominent family. My father was in the oil business during the heyday of the oil business. We had everything you can imagine that an oil tycoon would have. The huge mansion, everything, everything. I would go to toy stores. All I had to do was simply point to the things I wanted, and those things magically appeared in my house. Then suddenly, all that was taken away from me, just like the dream when I woke up. My fingers weren't magic anymore. I used to love to collect those little Matchbox cars, and those things were just delivered to me whenever I pointed to them. Now I had to work in order to earn the dollars in order to buy those Matchbox cars. What was interesting was that my mindset really didn't change from the way I thought about money. Because before, I didn't think of the cost of those items in terms of dollars, maybe because I had a lot, or maybe because they weren't my dollars. Now that I had to go to work in order to buy those things, babysitting, pet sitting, mowing lawns, I didn't think of the cost of those things in terms of dollars, but in the cost of time that I was spending in order to buy those items. As an adult, I equated time with money, and I developed my principle called the maximizable factor. For short, I affectionately call it the max factor. The max factor, simply put, is one factor of three in the equation of income. It's the only factor of those three that's a variable. It's the only factor over which we have control. Simply put, the max factor is the number of dollars that you take home for every hour of work that you perform. There was this economist that was walking down a country road, and he came across this shepherd tending a sheep. And he asked the shepherd, he said, "I'll bet you one of those sheep I can guess the exact number of sheep in your flock." The shepherd thought, well, this is a pretty easy bet. He'll never guess that. So he said, sure, you're on. The economist surveyed the flock, and he said, 273. Astonished, the shepherd said, you're exactly right. And I'm a man of my word, so you can take the sheep of your choice. So the economist leaned over, picked up an animal, and proceeded to walk down the road. The shepherd thought, I want to win this back. So he called after the guy. He said, hey, buddy, he said, I bet that sheep back that I can guess your occupation. And the economist thought, well, this will be an easy bet. So he said, sure. And the shepherd said, you're an economist with a government think tank. And the economist said, how'd you know that? And the shepherd said, put down my dog and I'll tell you.
If you want to gain insight on how to save money, manage personal debt, or develop money management skills, then you want Max Jaffe. Considered by many as the preeminent expert on how to maximize your financial wealth, Max Jaffe's workshops are more than cheerleading sessions. They are dynamic, compelling programs that provide the motivation and strategies necessary for taking care of debt today and saving for tomorrow. Max is a famed keynote speaker, writer, CPA, and workshop leader. He is the author of My Money, Myself, Maximize Your Financial Dignity, and co-author of The Wellness Path. He is the founder and CEO of Spending Solutions Incorporated and has appeared on radio and television as an esteemed money expert. Max Jaffe teaches people